Actually, Director Alexander addressed this concern that maybe the program is working, we just don't know about it. He said today in testimony that these records have helped foil dozens upon dozens of terror plots.
It's dozens of terrorist events that these have helped prevent.
Okay, so dozens. Now, we collect millions and millions and millions of records through 215, but dozens of them have proved crucial, or critical. Is that right? Dozens?
For both here and abroad.
Okay, Greg, he didn't want to tell us what those dozens and dozens were. He said he wants to wait to brief the Intelligence Committee. But I'm wondering, we know about an enemies list. We know intricately about the bin Laden kill. Clearly, Congress doesn't know about all these instances, let alone the NSA surveillance program from the beginning, many of them allege. So aren't you interested in hearing what are these dozens of instances?
Absolutely, and I think President Obama, look, God, President Obama has demonized about 95% of everything that I believe in. So it is very difficult for me to say give the guy a chance on this one, because I do believe strongly that creating a database of numbers is not violating the Fourth Amendment, and you can find some very great lawyers on the left and on the right who agree with me, and I mean legal scholars, not just lawyers. This is not listening to phone calls. This is not rifling through emails. This is something that, according to Alan Dershowitz of the Daily Beast, has been allowed, and it's called mail watches, which I brought up before. In my mind, this is something that they weren't prepared to talk about because it's secret. This is something that is secret. We have to admit that when something is secret, maybe it's secret for a reason, but now it's time to talk about it because it's out there. So let's talk about it.
We made a huge, I'm going to say, I wasn't in a position of authority at the time, but when the terror surveillance program was revealed by the New York Times, I think that the Bush administration was way too slow to get off the mark to explain what the program was. And partly that was because there were so few people who knew about it. And then all of a sudden, the warrantless wiretapping became the buzzword. And that wasn't the correct description of it. And then the more you teased it out, the more you understood it, people then were able to calm down. The Obama administration finds himself in a similar position, but they should. I think now they should be more forthcoming. I think that General Alexander is in a terrible position because he's trying not to get himself in a position like Clapper got himself into, which is now he's being called awkward by the New York Times, liar by others. I think going into the secret intel committee on the Hill, bipartisan, is the best way for them to lay more of this out.
To do this without any probable cause or without any suspicion of specifics is dangerous. It's dangerous for everyone who's not involved. You're a sacrifice.
How do you know?
Because how do you know they're not going to do it? How do you know they're not going to wiretap? He just said. You just heard him say, we can't do that. And you just said warrantless wiretaps. This is what amazes me. We know they can do it.
I know a lot about this. No, what I'm saying is that I don't feel like I have enough information now to be able to make such pronouncements, to be so passionate and to call people liars and rhinos and things that you were called, Greg, yesterday, just because you were saying that maybe we should give them a chance.
Yeah.
Nobody has enough information yet to be able to do that. What I'm saying is that the administration should, I think, be a little bit more forthcoming where they can be in a safe place in the Intel Committee to talk to our representatives on both sides of the aisle, that they can come back and tell us yay or nay.
Can I back this up for a second? Because you know what this mirrors or reflects completely is the gun control argument. When you have somebody on this, when something happens, somebody says, like Bob will say, we need to get rid of all the guns. And then somebody like me will say, you know what, it'd be better if everybody was armed. Then the discussion ends because, bam, you hit heads and you walk away. This debate is suffering from the same problem. You have one group saying this is a violation of the Fourth Amendment, and other people are saying, no, it's data collection, and it's there to prevent terror. And this is the way it is in the new world of the Internet. But if we keep going back and forth, we're never going...
Let's do the gun debate. Let's talk about it. I'll give you another analogy. You know what's analogous to the gun debate is the National Registry for guns. I'm against that because I don't know what they want to do with it. I'm guessing the same people who say Snowden's a bad guy are the same people who say, well, let's go for the National Registry because it may prevent something bad from happening. Same thing.
I'm hard-pressed to figure out how the drone attacks have anything to do with the intercepts. I mean, I think that's an entirely different program.
So you don't think that's... How do you know? But see, how do you know that?
Because you're a talking head. Talking heads have to have strong opinions.
Because these are people who...
How do you, when they're communicating one to another. So, for example, if they send email to one another, a text, and it goes through a node here in the United States, it's foreign to foreign, and we can catch it here, how do you know that that's not eventually used to track somebody down and kill them by a drone?
I don't know the answer to that, except that I do believe that attacking somebody with a drone and killing them is an entirely different situation than picking up his email and listening to it.
But how do you know? But how do you think you find him? How do you think we find people to
All we know is this, and we can all agree on this. Both of those things were done in secrecy to a lot of people. They didn't know about the drone program. This is where the left and the right can come together. And they did not know about this NSA surveillance program. And this quote from Thomas Jefferson is making the rounds. If you're willing to give up some privacy in the sake of security, or was it Franklin?
I think it's Franklin.
I'm sorry. It's been a very long day. I've been up since 5 a.m.
I know.
Benjamin Franklin, give up some privacy for the sake of security.
You'll end up.
All right, but
I want to deserve both.
Can I make a point here?
Abraham Lincoln said, "A house divided will not stand."
Oh, that's a good one.
Well, that's why we want to end on a united note. I just brought us all together.
No, I just want to one more thing. There are two powers that love this story: Russia and China. And when you're perceived and Al Qaeda are licking their chops over this, when they're offering to give this guy sanctuary, shouldn't that tell you something? Shouldn't that tell you something that maybe the world loves it when we're down? They're not going to help us when we're in trouble. They don't give a damn when we're bombed. Only we can protect ourselves.
Not making a situation, not putting us where there is a Snowden.
Well, I'd love
that
to see.
I
would love to see.
How do we do that?
That's a good discussion.
How do we do that? And how do we prevent our information from leaking out further? From this point on.